Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, let's have a look at Joom, the first Crystal Fest Hatcher unit. From the promotional stuff, she looked like a main character along with Lucio, but Lucio is really the only main character, and the other Crystal Fest units are like mentors. And I like her as a character. She is strict and businesslike and mostly unfeeling, and she has short hair, which I kind of like. I really like her as a unit too. She's a physical tank on a level with Megamont. She does amazing with the tanking. Of course, with tanks, the question is now, what else can you do for me? So we'll compare her in that area to other tanks. And then here are some top-line thoughts on her, like what make her unique or special. This was something that I wanted to do starting with Oberon, and then I totally forgot to do it for Aranea. But here are kind of the main characteristics of Joom. But she can give herself Protect and Shell. She has physical barriers. She has a great Trustmaster, good resistances, innate hate, good agility and mobility, and then single target resist break. Protect and Shell, those are some of my favorite buffs in the game, and then very hard to get rid of. A skill has to specifically say that it gets rid of Protect and Shell for it to get rid of Protect and Shell. And then physical barriers, damage mitigation, that's also one of the strongest skills in the game. And those are both from TP skills that she will use the first 2 turns based on how the AI is. And then Trustmaster, we'll look at that later, but that was one of my picks for one of the Trustmasters of the year. I really, really like it. Good resistances, we'll have a look at that later too. Innate hate, this can really turn the tide of auto battle. If you are familiar with Dwayne, then you know how good that can be. And then good agility and mobility. This is kind of unusual for tanks, and it can make the difference. It can make you choose one tank over another. And then finally, single target resist break. We'll look at this also later, but this is a kind of an unusual break, which can be good for chains. Okay, there are stats at 120. Joom, of course, works great with other wind units. I think the team that most people have in mind is Tifa and 2B with Joom. And I said this in a previous video, but a JP YouTuber that I respect very much calls the Crystal Fest units like the cherry on top to finish off a top-tier mono-elemental team. I agree with that, but Joom works great with other elements as well. That's one of the characteristics of tanks. Joom works great with fire units, for example. She can bait ice units for them in guild battles, or she can protect lightning units by countering earth units, Oberon specifically. And the reason why they're so versatile for team building is because, like for Arena, for example, you can have like one very high-functioning, very nice synergy pair, like 2 attackers. And then you can, change in different tanks with them, and then you have suddenly a variety of teams that can go against a variety of opponents. And so that's why I can recommend Joom to 100% of players, just like I could recommend Charlotte, Rain, Megamont, and Engelbert. Alright, but here is her Trustmaster. It is an accessory that anybody can put on. Gives you some HP and agility, so that's pretty cool. And then the skill that she has, it is a TP skill. It will give you a defense and spirit break, which is different from giving you Protect and Shell, like Augury's Trustmaster, another one of my favorites. And so I would want to put Augury's Trustmaster on Joom, but she already has Protect and Shell in her kit, so I can give her a defense and spirit buff instead with this. And yeah, I use this a lot, always on my tanks. Although sometimes I put it on my Dragoons, for example, just so that they can avoid being one-punched. Okay, next are resistances. These are a little skewed because I have some favorite equipment put on there. But yeah, very nice physical, and that's actually not that low magic. We're not talking like Engelbert minus 20 or 30% here. So it wouldn't be too hard to get her into the positives. Okay, next let's look at her skills for her Crystal Warrior main job. First, this is one of the attacks that she uses the most. Medium range, big AoE, medium damage, and then will break agility and is 100% hit. So that's a lot of nice skills rolled into one. Next is a TP skill. For 3 turns, will give herself the barrier and then give her defense penetration up. She does have some kind of attacking stuff, like slash attack up or this defense penetration up. And then she will use this second after her next TP skill that we will look at. Okay, here is an AP skill. Short range will lower reaction rate, do big damage, and then will also drain. I like this more for PvE. For PvP, I like a different kind of short-range attack, and so I turn this one off. This one has the priority because it will do more damage. But having the drain in there is nice, adds a little bit of self-sustainability. Okay, next AP skill. This is the skill that I like. Even though it does the small damage, it will break the single target resistance like I talked about earlier. This does not have the priority just because it does the less damage, but it has the better skill and it can better support the other teammates, so that's why I like this one. Okay, next, TP skill. She'll usually use this on turn 1. This will give herself Protect, Shell, and then raise her Hate. Okay, here is a medium range attack, small AoE, medium damage, and for 3 turns will raise own single target resistance, so that's pretty cool. And then here's the sub-job of the Crystal Warrior. Area of Effect, TP skill, will raise slash resistance penetration and then critical evade. So if you pair her with other slash attackers, Super Stern or somebody, then this could be nice. And then a short range AoE attack, medium damage, will break attack and magic. This is cool, but I never use her Crystal Warrior sub-job. Her other 2 sub-jobs are the Nightblade and then the Dragoon. I usually go for the Nightblade. She does not have the 3-hit attack, unfortunately. But yeah, she does have the Injury Blade. I feel like with her, all of her best skills are in her main job anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter what her sub-job is. She also has the Dragoon sub-job. She does not have the Dragon Dive or the Vertical Dive. She only has the Horizon Jump, so not amazing, but in the right situation, maybe usable. Okay, let's look at the Crystal Warrior support abilities. This will raise defense and slash and piercing resistance. That's where we saw the higher resistances from earlier. And the more times she is hit, the higher her defense will go. And then this can stack up to 3 times, so that's pretty good. Okay, another support ability, Jump +1 and Agility up. So this is where her greater mobility comes from. And depending on the map, having Jump +1 can make all the difference in the world. And her being able to turn it on and off is pretty great. That makes her pretty versatile. And then Crystal Warrior reaction ability. When she's hit with physical damage, she will mitigate that damage. I usually have that one on. Alright, and then here is the limit break. What is that? Horizon Shot AoE. Big damage, and then will raise own slash attack. It's a nice buff, and it's an interesting AoE, but I have it turned off because I'd rather have her use some of the other attacks that she has. Alright, and then finally, Master Ability, the typical Wind Party buff. And then for herself, raise HP 10%, and then Hate up 5, so that is where some more passive hate is coming from. Okay, that is a look at Joom. I was lucky enough to pull her on a lucky ticket pull, and she's turned out to be great. I have a lot of videos showing her in a limited class match. I'll put links to that below. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.